Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and today we have two new Aether Revolt previews to take a look at. These are actually the last two Invention reveals. So a few days back we saw the first 22 Inventions. They were all reprints as you would expect. These last two are actually brand new cards. So a couple of things we can assume from this. First off, these two cards probably tested relatively powerful considering that they made it to the Invention status. Secondly, we know that these will be cards in Aether Revolt, I'm assuming at the Mythic Rare level, so they will be standard playable, which does open up a whole new conversation for these particular two as opposed to the other 22. Quickly, before we get started though, just a reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll see some links to our Amazon affiliate store as well as our Patreon page. These are both ways to help support the channel and help us keep doing what we are doing, so it's always appreciated. Having said that, let's get into the cards. First, we're going to look at Paradox Engine. This costs 5. It's a legendary artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land permanents you control. So when I look at this card, the first thing I think of is actually a pretty cool commander card. I mean, it costs 5, but it has a pretty large sweeping effect. And imagine playing this with some Convoke cards. And there's a lot of probably crazy broken things you can do with this commander if you really thought about it. But the other thing that I think of is its potential in Standard. And what I'm thinking is this card combos really well with a card from Shadows over Innistrad, Cryptolith Rite. Creatures you control have tapped to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So it's kind of like a backdoor Convoke. These cards in conjunction could actually be really strong in the right standard meta. It's a little too soon at this point to say for sure this will be a thing because we've only seen a handful of cards from Aether Revolt. It's a little hard to predict at this point where the meta is going to go and how fast or powerful it's going to be. But I do think with these two cards on the table, you could potentially see some standard play here. This is definitely one to keep an eye on. Next we have Planar Bridge. This costs 6 as a legendary artifact, 8 to activate and tap. Search your library for a permanent card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Okay, so again, amazing commander card, right? I mean, commander's a slower format, you have a little more time, you have more mana to play with, and in a longer game, like, this could be amazing. It's a little expensive, obviously. I mean, 6 to cast and 8 to activate, but in commander where you can actually do this, being able to tutor up any permanent is actually kind of awesome. So you can do it at activation speed, which is interesting. Now, granted, you can't grab instants or sorceries, or if you're trying to play a creature with a cast effect, like in a big Eldrazi, then, okay, you're going to come up a little bit short. But at the same time, just the ability to look for whatever permanent you need. This includes lands. That could actually be relevant at times. This is huge in Commander, I think. This is going to be a really awesome Commander card. Now, outside of Commander, where could I see this seeing some play? Maybe, just maybe, I could see this showing up in some Tron builds in Modern. And the reason I say that is Tron is typically a little bit of a flexible build. You usually have some flex spots there that you can try or test certain things out or just switch different cards in and out. This could be one that I would at least like to test, if nothing else. I'm not completely sold on it. Here's my issue I have with it. On the upside, yeah, because you imagine being able to put this out and then every turn tutor for a Karn, an Ugin, an Oblivion Stone. I mean, that would be amazing, right? The downside is it's a little slow. It might be a little slow for the Modern format. Casting this at 6, granted, if you can get your Urzatron online, then wonderful. You can cast this potentially on turn 3, say. But then you are kind of taking that turn off. You're not putting any pressure on your opponent. Gives your opponent another turn to get an answer. Maybe they can destroy your tower. Maybe they can destroy the planar bridge. And all of a sudden, you just gave them a tempo advantage, and you could potentially have just lost the game right there. The other thing that's a little bit awkward about this card in Urzatron is the activation of 8. It's not going to happen all the time, but you know there's going to be a moment where you have Tower, Mine, and Power Plant out, which can produce 7 mana, and you're going to be sitting there with this on the board, and you're going to be like, go ahead. And it's not going to feel really good, right? So, granted, it won't happen all the time, but you know it, I know it. There's going to be moments it's going to happen, and you just have to wonder, would it just been better to have a Karn in that spot or another Ugin or something like that? A lot of decks are playing Oblivion Stone. It is fantastic with searching up that, but doesn't really help with, say, All is Dust if that's your plan, stuff like that. So you do have to take that into consideration. Like I said, I would at least like to test this one and kind of see how it goes, potentially. Maybe it's a one-of or something like that. So, having said that, those are the cards for today. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on these cards, especially for Commander. I do think there's some crazy Commander combos you can probably come up with these. But until next time, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.